Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of STEMgirls Virtual, where we will be learning all about careers in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. To help us on this journey, we'll be talking to professionals in those fields about their experiences and what they do in their awesome jobs. Our guest today is a friend of mine and a friend of the Cincinnati Museum Center, Liz Fet, who works in environmental sciences. Let's jump right in and get the conversation started. Liz, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today. The first question is, can you tell us a little bit more about your job and explain to us what it is that you do?
So I work for the Sanitation District #1 in Northern Kentucky. So we're responsible for the wastewater and stormwater within the area. We encompass 3 counties, Boone, Campbell, and Kenton. So wastewater, if you don't know what that is anything that goes down your drain. So like when you wash your hands, like we are all doing right now, all that goes to a treatment plant, but all the water that goes down a storm drain goes into the creeks. And so part of my job is to make sure that the stormwater that we manage, we're keeping the creeks intact as well.
So that's something that kids can help with as well. It's an initiative that they can work on right now, correct? They can make sure the storm drains in their neighborhoods are clean and free from debris.
Exactly, yeah. So make sure you pick up that litter and the dog waste and anything that you see near on the street or on the ground.
Perfect. We want our waterways to stay healthy.
Exactly.
The next question is, please tell us what sparked your interest in this field, and did you always want to do that, or did it grow? Did it develop from something else?
So I've been surrounded by biologists and botanists and engineers all my life. Many of my family members are in various STEM fields. So I've always known that I've been wanting to do something in the scientific field, but I just never knew exactly what. And so throughout my different internships and jobs, I ended up working in water.
Very cool. The next question is, what is one of the coolest experiences that you've had as part of your job?
So one of the coolest things is when we were out electrofishing on the Ohio River, and we caught a 5-foot paddlefish. So it's a really big fish with a spoon bill.
Can you tell us more about electrofishing?
Oh yeah, so electrofishing is when we take electricity and we put it into the water and we zap the fish just to stun them for a little bit. They'll wake up and go right back into their water. So it doesn't kill them.
So very safe for the fish, and it helps the researchers better understand their waterways and the ecosystems inside.
Yeah, the most efficient method to collect fish population survey data.
Very interesting. And I don't know a whole lot about paddlefish, so I might have to do a little research on that after this.
They're super cool. Send us your pictures.
Yes, if anyone has a picture of some paddlefish, send it our way. The next question is, what is a challenge that you face in your journey, in your career, and how did you overcome it?
So I've been lucky to have very great mentors throughout my life, both male and female mentors. I think really the biggest challenges sometimes are just dealing with weather and being prepared to deal with the weather, and always having to be able to shift gears if you need to. So if you go out and it's a great day, and then all of a sudden when you get to your site, it starts pouring rain. So you got to figure out what to do and shift and move on to the next thing.
Right. Okay, the next question is, what is some advice you'd like to give any young person wanting to pursue a career in a STEM field?
So I say get involved as soon as you can. Shadow different people in the field. There's professors. You as a kid can go and help watershed groups collect water. You can go out to different trails and start identifying various trees and birds. You can even start building Legos and see if you can build a building, that can withstand a certain hurricane or a tornado. So there's lots of supplies available.
Those are great ideas. Thank you, Liz.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple of questions from our community. Would you have some time to answer a couple?
Of course.
Perfect. So the first question from our community is, how often do you deal with algae blooms?
So we always keep an eye out for them, especially during the summertime when we are out sampling the water. And when there are times when people will call in and ask us to look at the water, maybe it's in a pond or in a creek near them, we'll go out and take a look. So we're always constantly watching out for them.
Okay, very interesting. Can you tell us what a typical day looks like for you?
So for a typical day, it depends on if it's, wintertime or if it's summertime. Usually right now I'd be out in the field, going to the different creeks and collecting macroinvertebrates. So those would be like crawfish or stonefly larvae or mayfly larvae, and just collecting those things from the creek or water samples. During the wintertime, I do a lot of report writing and writing up what we found the previous year.
Very interesting. Okay, and the last question is, when you were in college, what did you study? What degree program were you in? And do you find that it really helps with what you study today?
So I went to Marshall University and I got my undergraduate. It was a double major, zoology and environmental science. And then I also got my master's in biology. And I would say I had a very, very great, something pop up. I had a great education because I took a lot of classes that were about different types of animals. So an ornithology class studied birds, a herpetology class studying reptiles and amphibians. I even took a whole class about freshwater systems. So it prepared me very well. And I also helped out some of the graduate students do their projects. So I got to learn different aspects of all these various animals and plants.
Very interesting. All right, well, that's it for us today, Liz. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you next time. Please stay tuned for our next interview next week at Thursday at 11 a.m. We will be talking to a brand new STEM professional, and you can stay up to date on what CMC is doing on our Facebook page, and look out for some prompts for questions for our next guest and what we're going to be talking about then. Thank you so much for tuning in, and keep learning. Bye, guys.
Bye.